My name is Adrian Kelly. I'm part of the Skerries Sustainable Energy Community Initiative, which is the stall down here. Michael is the chairperson, and then we've got Colm and Etna also involved as well. So representing them, I guess, a little bit. I'm going to talk a little bit about electricity and energy in Ireland, and also smart meters, how to make the most out of those if you're thinking about utilising your energy in a better way. So if you want to start, so just a little bit about electricity in general. So it's a constant balance. Everything that's produced, every bit of electricity that's produced has to be used at the exact same time, and that's all over the country, all over Europe, all over America. It's like constant balance. So if it goes up, you have to rebalance it the other way. So this is hard to see, but you've got generation, which is coming from coal and gas and wind and solar. And you've got demand, which is lights here, laptops, ovens, everything you use that you plug into the wall. So this constantly has to balance. You might think that's really difficult to do across a country or a city, but luckily humans are like creatures of habit. We all get up at the same time, turn on lights at the same time, turn on ovens, washing machines roughly at the same time. So this is how we use energy through the day. This is low nighttime, everyone's asleep, not much energy. Then this is morning, everyone gets up, puts on electric showers. During the day it's kind of reasonably steady, and then this is the evening where you've got dinner time, ovens on, all of that, and then you're ramping back down. And this is cyclical. It goes on every day, every month of the year. So it is a complex thing to try and balance, but you can do it. You can do it based on what happened yesterday, what happened last week. You can have a rough approximation on what we need to do. So energy in Ireland. So what's the state of play right now for electricity and energy in Ireland? This is kind of difficult to see. I apologise, but gas is this yellow thing. So it's 45% odd is gas, and then 40 odd % is renewable electricity. We've got imports, which comes from the UK, Scotland and England. And then the rest is a small bit of coal and a little bit of oil burned here. The majority of the renewables is wind, so 34% of our electricity is wind energy. There's solar, there's hydro, and there's some other biomass generation as well. So primarily what we have is gas, burning power stations, and mostly wind around the network. And this part, which is importing energy, and that's increasing all the time. So it's 10% in 2023. I think it's going to be 20% in 2024. It's going to increase again in years afterwards. So in the past, you had an electricity system that had coal and oil and gas and turf, peat. Now we're very much narrowing our sources down to just gas and renewables with imports as well. So yeah, this is I guess a way to think about like inflation. Just sidetrack slightly, but I think it's important. If you ever wonder where does inflation in society come from? Why are we paying extra every month, every year? And essentially the reason is electricity prices. And essentially the reason for electricity prices is the price of gas in Europe. So this trend, this is kind of difficult to see, but for the last 10 years, this is the price of gas. It's quite low, very low. And then in around 2022, when the Ukraine war started, you had an uptick in the price of gas, okay, here. So everybody got worried and gas prices went through the roof. This is the price of electricity in Ireland. And look how similar it is to the gas price, right? Very, very low for 10 years. And the Ukraine war starts, gas price goes up, electricity price goes up. And then this is the third one, which is inflation in Ireland, right? Again, low, relatively low, and then it gets up to 10%. It's kind of difficult to see there, but I can share the slides afterwards. So this is just another way to say the price of electricity or the cost of electricity really drives inflation in society, and it's mostly driven by the price of gas. What do you think? Is it better? Can you hear that better than?
Is that better?
There's a lot of feedback kind of from the background.
Is this any better?
It's a bit loud. I'll try and shout a bit louder. It's grand.
Okay.
Thanks, Sabine.
We
Cheers.
tried.
We tried.
Bluetooth microphone, because that's ideal with those. No. Not in your pocket yet. We've been looking for the last week.
I'll shout a bit louder, sorry. So this is a map of Ireland. This is our electricity grid. Do you want to zap on the, yeah. So if you wonder where does our power come from, so we've got a coal burning power station down here, gas in Dublin City, gas up in Belfast and gas up in Derry up here. We've got renewable generation, so here's where our wind is, here, Mayo, Kerry, Cork, all along the Atlantic seaboard. And we're trying to like push this wind energy over towards our main load centres over here. And this next slide, these are our imports, right? So we've got one to Scotland coming into Belfast, one in North Dublin, there's one coming into Wexford, and there's another one coming in a few years to Cork here. So essentially we're lucky because our load is kind of on the coast of the country. But our problem is we're connecting renewable generation on the west coast, and this network in the middle is very constrained and congested, so we can't push enough power through that way. So now we're taking power from continental Europe, from Scotland and Wales and all of that. That's why I meant to say that everything is increasing. These interconnectors are increasing in size and number for the next few years. Next slide.
Quick question. If we have oversupply, the demand has to be used, but where does it go if we do create oversupply? Does it go anywhere? Or?
Yeah, good question. So the question was when you supply too much, which is what happens with wind energy, especially at night, where does the energy go? So you have to keep that balance all the time. So you end up trying to sell it to the UK. You might end up they basically ring up the national grid in UK and say, we've got an excess of power, can you take it? They say, what? How much is it? And you say it's free or it's less than that. Just take it. They'll take it if they can. If they can't take it, it just gets turned off. It just gets wasted. If wind might be blowing, but if there's not enough demand, there is. It's still quite early stage. It's a very small percentage of battery storage that we have in Ireland. It's growing and it will be part of the future energy system. But right now it's quite small. Yeah. So the more batteries we can connect, the better, I guess. So there's another slide. You can keep moving through. So the current state of energy in Ireland, our demand is growing, our population is growing, industry is growing, we've got data centres and factories. So that's going up. We import most of our energy, so like I said, we don't produce any gas. We've got one field in Mayo, it's depleting rapidly, so everything comes from Norway, it comes from the UK. When it comes to gas, all our oil and petrol obviously is offshore and comes in, interconnectors as well. We're importing UK energy at the moment, we will be importing French nuclear energy. Yeah, that renewable figure I gave of 40%, it's kind of plateaued. It's been at 40% for the last few years. We were world leaders, now we're kind of sinking in the averages, I guess. So hydro, we don't have very fast-flowing rivers like the Amazon or things like that. We have rivers, but they're low-lying, so can't utilize hydropower. We can't utilize nuclear power for legal reasons and for public reasons. We don't have much sun. There's too much cloud, so solar is growing as a percentage of what we do, but we're not Spain, unfortunately. And then our grid connection, our onshore wind is kind of it's reached its peak capacity for wind onshore because of planning gridlocks and the network. And then, like I said, our demand is on the coast, so this is kind of prompting the reasons why offshore wind farm is kind of attractive. So you've got Dublin, and you've got, instead of having wind in Mayo and trying to push that over, they're trying to connect wind off the coast of Dublin, connect it directly in. Likewise, Cork, Belfast, and Galway, let's say. So yeah, next slide. That's just a general state.
How much power are you getting in from the wind turbines off Arklow?
Next to nothing, like 38 megawatts or so. So it would basically power Swords as a town. Yeah, it's small.
It's better than nothing.
It's better than nothing, but if compared to Nisa would be about, I think that's 1,000 megawatts. No, it's 500 megawatts. So it'll be 25 times the size of Arklow. Yeah. No, the proposed one off the shore here. So there is an offshore wind in Arklow. It was actually a world leader at the time when it went in 20 years ago. but technology is far outstripped it now. So the ones that we'd be putting in now would be like much bigger, much more robust and all of that. But
are there losses? Like if you're taking it from the West Coast to Dublin, do you get a lot of percentage-wise losses?
Not enough to be. That's the biggest problem. Losses aren't the biggest problem. It's more the capacity, the amount of cables that are there. To get more there, you have to build more power lines, and people don't want power lines being built. So that's why the network's constrained. This is your question, Aidan. So this is the slide I showed at the start, where you had this is our demand curve, and what this is the amount of wind energy that's being turned off at night. So everything, the figures don't really matter, but everything in green is like essentially wasted power. And this is the middle of the night here, let's say. So all of this is waste, basically. It's a sin, actually, but it's can't be used, and it works out at about 1.6 million homes for a month could be powered by the amount of wasted energy in a year. So this is where we have to transform our energy sector to utilize this a little bit more and utilize that wasted energy. So looking at smart meters, which is the other topic of my talk. So smart meters, most people, I think everybody in Skerries should have them. Everyone in Ireland will have them by the next year or two. The reason they were put in was to take away the need for people to go out to your homes and read the meter and write it down and move. You don't have to have people calling up in vans anymore. It was to kind of allow people to be paid for energy they produce. So if you put solar panels, they can like log exactly how much energy you're spitting back onto the grid, and they can pay you for that. There's no more estimated bills, so that used to be a thing where they'd, based on last year's energy, they'd charge you the same amount. So that's all gone away. They give you more control of your data, so you know what you're using. You can mess around with how you're using energy, and then they give more market players the ability to come in and offer new products. Like, so they can come in and say, oh, on Saturday I'll give you free energy. I'll charge you a little bit more during the week or whatever, but you can use all the power you want on Saturdays or Sundays, or different times of the day. They can use different what we call smart tariffs, which is the other thing. We shouldn't confuse these two, right? A smart meter is the thing that's on your wall, and that's just something that's logging your data continually, like a Fitbit on your watch, on your arm. You don't have to change the electricity tariff that you have, your electricity bill. You're not obliged to do that if you get a smart meter. You can, it releases the ability to do it, but nobody's going to tell you have to switch over and pay more. If they do, they're not supposed to. Yeah, what it does, smart tariffs kind of break down your cost of energy at different times of the day. So instead of saying your cost of electricity is 30 cents for the whole day, electricity supply companies are able to say at 6 p.m. in the evening your cost is 60 cents, and at 2 a.m. in the morning it's 4 cents or 5 cents. So it's up to you then to kind of go, well, I'll use my energy in a little bit more efficient way. I'll turn on my electric car at night. I won't use my oven there because it's going to cost me a little bit more. So if you remember the previous slide where we're trying to like move demand from the evening peak to the night time, this is the way you kind of do that by utilizing smart tariffs. So next slide, I have some examples of that, I think. Yeah, so this is, for those not familiar with how electricity bills are structured, this is a typical bill. I think it's from my one from last year. So this would be what a typical smart tariff bill would look like. So I might stand over here. So you've got a rate per hour. So the day-night peak is 6 p.m. EV is a nighttime rate of between 2 a.m. and 5 a.m. You've got different rates. You see it's 11 cents for the EV rate, and at the peak it's 61 cents. Huge difference, right? So this is incentivizing customers to not use energy at this time at the peak in the day, and incentivizing them to use it more in the middle of the night. And these change year to year, and they go up and down, right? The other part of your bill, for those interested, there's a standing charge. That's €1 a day, so €360 per year. that's every company has to charge that. It's associated with the cost of business for those companies to supply this service to you. So it's roughly €1 per day. That doesn't change year to year. Then you've got this affinity deal. So most electricity suppliers will give 20-25% discounts for new entrants. So that changes, and you should always explore the market. Talk to vendors that are out there that might be interested in getting you in as a new customer. And then at the bottom you've got PSO, which is just the cost of the network, and VAT then at the end. So the question is, like, should you choose? So some people ask me, should you choose smart tariffs or not? I'll go back over this side. So it's difficult to know, right? I'm not going to lie and say you should do it or you shouldn't do it. There's lots of different variables associated with it. There's the different time periods. So some ESB might say we're going to offer a very cheap evening rate and a high rate, but the time periods they're offering can change, right? So you have to keep that in your head. Then the costs within those time periods vary as well. So like I showed you there, 11 cent, 5 cents. In other places it could be 20 cent and 15 cent, and it's hard to kind of get a sense for that. There's discounts. That 21% I showed you could be different. There's free days, free weekend days, free evening days, like what Aidan mentioned. Some cashback offers as well. So some people say sign up for this and you'll get €100 cashback. There's dual fuel. You'll sign up for gas and electricity, and they'll try and get you into both contracts. And then, that's from last year, the prices are rising and falling. Back to my slide about gas and electricity. On the markets at a high level, these prices are moving, shifting around. So if you listen to the news, you'll hear press releases saying like ESB are cutting their electricity charges by 10% across the board. And it's another factor that you have to kind of think about when you're looking at this. Comparison sites do a good job. So you have Bonkers, Switcher, those companies that do quite a good job, but for smart tariffs it's not great. I'll show you a better option after this. And I think the key point here is in bad white writing, but yeah, if you use an electric vehicle especially, a smart tariff makes a lot of sense, because you're leveraging that nighttime cheap rate, charging your car for next to nothing. You're using that wind power that should be wasted, you're charging your car, so it makes you feel better about it. And it's also cheaper, it's better for your pocket as well. So if you have an EV, that's the way to go. I think.
Charge only for the EV, is that wired separately? Or do you get that rate for all appliances?
All appliances, yeah. Yeah.
And if you're charging a car, will it only kick in to charge between those?
You can set it to do that, yeah. You can set it on your app. You can say, I want to charge from 2 and 5. Yeah, exactly. And the first question was, is it just EVs? And the answer is no. You can like switch on. My home is like buzzing at 3 o'clock in the morning. There's dishwashers, there's washing machines. Everything is going flat out just to use that time.
So there's safety concerns though on machines unattended?
Not really. I mean, it
go on fire and stuff.
Yeah, but there wouldn't be. It's nothing to do with the time of day. Like that could happen at any particular time.
For safety reasons.
Yeah.
I've heard people say you shouldn't, put on your washing machine, leave the house, or put on your dishwasher.
Yeah, no, not really.
Dishwasher on goes away.
If you're concerned about that, but I don't think it's like they wouldn't be able to sell them if they were spontaneously going on fire at different times of the day. So I think I have a few minutes left, but just turn on this. You can everybody can access your data now, right? It's not many people know this. But if you've got a smart meter, your data is going to ESB, and they're holding it in a secure database. You can log on to ESB. You can put in your name and address and your meter point reference number, your MPRN, which is on the top of your electricity bills, and it gives you all of your, by every 30 minutes, how much energy you're using since the smart meter got installed. You can do these little charts and stuff as well. Yesterday, last week, last month, last year. It's very good. You can download it into an Excel file if you're comfortable messing around with charts and trends. You can do that as well. So just search for, there's a link here, but it's best just search for ESB My Smart Meter Data in Google, and it'll bring you to the link. You sign up. You have to register, of course, and you can sign up. And it's very secure in terms of I can't access your data or whatever. They have verification on that.
Is it free?
Yeah, absolutely free. Yeah, absolutely free. Yeah. So this is ESB. They own the meter, so they own the infrastructure around the thing, but they don't own the data, right? GDPR and all that stuff. Like, so it's your data. They just hold it for you. So and you can access it at any time. Next slide. Yeah, thanks. This was I said before that if you're thinking about it, there are price comparison websites like Bonkers and Switcher and these things, and what they do is you go on and you say, I'm an average household, I use 11 kilowatt hours a day or something like that. They give you like a general price to say, based on the average, here's a comparison. But there's a new free website now called EnergyPal.ie that essentially does a better breakdown based on the actual data that you have. So from the ESB portal, you get access, you can download all of your data, go to EnergyPal.ie, upload it, and it does a really, really good, really excellent. It's a guy just doing this himself, but I highly recommend it. Shows you exactly how much energy you're using, and it tells you, based on last year's energy, this is the best tariff for you to use. So that's a shout out for that.
Does the general public know about EnergyPal?
I heard him being interviewed on like Matt Cooper's show a few months ago. And it's growing. I guess he's trying to grow a business for it. But again, it's free. It's really quite good. Yeah. But nobody. To answer your question another way, people don't really engage with it because it seems very complex. Like, I switch on the electricity and it's fine, and the price is going up. But if you are interested in it, there's a lot of different tools that you can use to kind of analyze and assess what you're doing.
It's a bit like Bonkers if you're looking for a mortgage.
It's like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because I've done research generally on what people know about smart meters, and that never came out. And that's quite recent. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So spread the word. I don't get any money for endorsing him, but I think they have one more slide. Yeah, this one is about what's the time?
If you want to
wrap it up. Yeah.
Wrap up, and then also if anyone wants to talk to you, you'll be here all day anyway.
Just get a hook and take me off. Yeah, I'll be standing over there. Just this one. This is like free money as well, right? So you can go away and say thank S-SECI for free money. ESB are running this campaign called "Is This a Good Time?" Are you familiar with that?
Yeah.
So essentially, what they do is you sign up. It's a different website to the one that we have there, but just again search "Is This a Good Time ESB?" You can sign up. They send you like text messages and say when the grid is going to be under pressure in the evening, they'll say, please turn down your energy use this evening because the grid is under pressure. And then a day later, they'll say, did you turn down your energy use? And you say yes or no. It's like a survey. And then a couple of days later, they send you like a voucher, like €10, €20, €30. I think I've got like €150 from vouchers just from doing this. And there's no cost to participating in it. And it is quite good. So it does kind of get you thinking about like using energy in a different way. So it's not quite a tariff, but it's kind of trying to hit the behavioral kind of aspects of it. So free money, is this a good time from ESB? And then this is, you can go to the next slide. That's just some advice about using energy more efficiently. This is the summary slide. So again, these are the two charts to be thinking about. Peak energy use, shift that to the nighttime. And then this is like wasted wind energy, move it to nighttime. Take control of your energy use, think about it, think about smart tariffs, other options, EnergyPal, the data, look what you're using during the day, are you rising or falling? Try and use that wasted wind energy. It's one really good way to feel good about yourself instead of using it and costing society a fortune. Yeah, use it at night. Don't use energy intensive appliances at the evening peak if you can, even without tariffs. Don't switch on your washing machine at 6 o'clock, leave it until 7, 8, 9. That'll help people in control rooms to operate the grid. And if you have solar panels, really good idea to use them to charge EVs. Michael's going to be talking about that in the next talk. And then charge them at night. And that's pretty much it. So I'll be standing over there if you need any more questions. But,